Hey everyone, today we're diving into one of the most powerful, interactive tools you can get your hands on inside Moodle, the H5P Branching Scenario.
You know that feeling, right? When you build a course and you just know your students are probably just clicking next, next, next to get through it. What if we could break that cycle? Well, you absolutely can. With a branching scenario, you can transform a flat lesson into a really engaging interactive journey. A journey where the choices your students make actually matter and shape their own learning path. So here's the plan. We'll start with the why these are so cool. Then we'll jump right into Moodle and build one from scratch, create some decision paths, connect it all to the gradebook, and then we'll wrap up. Sound good? Let's do it.
Okay, first things first, why should you even bother with branching scenarios in the first place? What makes them so special?
So what is it exactly? Well, H5P is basically a whole toolkit for creating interactive content. The branching scenario is one of its superstars. The core idea is super simple. The content you present changes, or branches, to different outcomes based entirely on how a user answers your questions.
And this, right here, is the magic. This is the whole point. Instead of just passively clicking through content, your learners become active participants. They're in the driver's seat of their own learning journey, and that shift is a total game changer for engagement.
All right, enough talk. Let's get our hands dirty and actually see how you set one of these up inside Moodle. Okay, first things first, hop into your Moodle course. You know the drill. Find that Turn Editing On button and give it a click. Then, in whatever section you want the scenario to live, click Add an Activity or Resource. When that activity chooser pops up, just look for the H5P activity. It's usually got that black icon. Think of this as the main container that holds all your different H5P creations. Okay, once you've added that, you'll be inside the H5P editor. You're going to see a big list of all the different content types you can create. Just scroll down, find Branching Scenario, and select it. That's what launches the actual builder. And just like that, we're in. This is the H5P editor, our blank canvas, where all the magic is going to happen. Now, before you get click-happy and start dragging things around, let me give you a pro tip that will save you so much headache later. Seriously, grab a piece of paper, open a simple flowchart tool, whatever works for you, and just map out your scenario. It makes the building process 1,000 times smoother. The editor gives you some basic building blocks. You can drag in text, images, even videos to present your information. But the real star of the show, the element that makes this whole thing work, is the branching question. This little guy is the absolute cornerstone of your entire scenario. It's what actually creates the decision points. It lets you ask a question and give the learner choices. Without it, you don't have any branches. Okay, so we know what the pieces are. Now let's talk about how we actually connect them to create those different paths. It's actually a pretty simple 4-step dance. 1, you add a branching question. 2, you write your question and all the possible answers. 3, you drag your next piece of content, like a video or some feedback text, onto the canvas. And 4, you just draw a line to link that new content to one of the answers. That's it. You've just made a branch. But hey, what happens if someone picks the wrong answer? You don't always want them to just hit a dead end, right? This is where a retry loop comes in handy. There's a special action called Jump to Another Branch, and you can use it to send a learner right back to a previous question to give it another shot. Okay, let's talk about something that's absolutely crucial. Getting this thing to talk to your Moodle gradebook. A lot of people get tripped up here, but I promise it's pretty easy once you know the secret. And the key thing to remember is that it's a 2-part process. You have to do one thing inside the H5P editor and another thing back in the main Moodle settings. You need both for it to work. So here they are. Step 1. Inside the H5P settings, you have to find and enable Dynamically Calculate Score. Step 2. Back in the main Moodle activity settings, you have to set a maximum grade that is anything other than 0. If you miss either one of these steps, no grade will ever show up in the gradebook. So how does that dynamic scoring actually work? Well, it's pretty cool. For each answer inside your branching questions, you can assign it a certain number of points. As the learner goes through their path, the system just adds up all the points they earn. And as soon as they hit an endpoint, that final score gets sent right to the gradebook, automatically. All right, that was a whirlwind, I know. So let's just do a quick flyby of everything we just covered to make sure it all stuck. So think about it. You now know how to add a branching scenario to any Moodle course. You know how to build out those decision-based paths. You can set up cool feedback and retry loops. And, most importantly, you know the 2-step secret to get it talking to your gradebook. So there you have it. You've got the tools, you've got the know-how. The only question left is, what amazing learning journey are you going to design first?